Welcome to vNAF 2020. I'm your host, Unondobeko Wagasbisi. Listen, I'm going to be giving you your entertainment fix throughout these 11 days of amazing. Listen, on today's lineup, we're going to be having a conversation on the main stage with Professor Pitikantuli on his new solo exhibition. And then later on, we're going to be looking at an interesting collaboration between dance and film. And of course, you can never talk arts without talking poetry. Okwesikufanele manje is to get this show on the road. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Let's get going.
Thirsty throats and vain attempts to cough the virus out.
Professor Pitikantuli, you've got an amazing work coming today saying Azibuyele emasisweni, return back to the source, your solo exhibition that's showing at the National Arts Festival. Sibuyela siyapi? Kuqale kuphi size sibuyele?
Thina kwathi uma kufika abantu abeza nemthwalo bathatha amasiko ethu, imisebenzi yethu yobuciko, inkolo yethu, izwe lethu konke. Mina ngikhuluma ngendaba yolwazi that right up into our minds in the field of arts and culture. We need to use arts and culture to reclaim our identity, to reclaim our soul, to reclaim our own sense of spirituality, rather than being dependent on other people. During this isolation, I've just also been working on some of the other in poems like this, if you can see it. Wow. It's an elephant, it's a giraffe bone, with all the signs and symbols that speak of Africa. I'm preparing for that exhibition that is going to be virtually there with 45 bone sculptures, and each sculpture in a tagazelo so it has got its own poems. Art is not just music, it's not just visual arts. We mix all of these things because we can handle them in our minds, in our soul, in our spirits. You can describe what science is, you can describe what religion is, you can describe what education is. Art is very, very elusive because it is one of the most powerful instruments of the spirit.
You're gonna look.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited that the work is going to vNAF because I think it's a great platform that the work will be viewed globally and internationally around Africa and around South Africa.
We've always said water is thicker than blood. So that's how we've always managed to work so well together, because we understand that we are water bodies, and that connection, I think, for me, has always been flowing.
I was so inspired by Opa's work, and I approached him one day in 2017, actually, and I was like, it would be such a gift to be able to translate your work through a form that I am, your physical, embodied, spiritual performance through the camera, through the edit.
The mother project was Reeds of Ikawe, which was playing with hands, playing with a straw mat. So trying to, because I believe in an embodied practice, the ash, the pillar and the ash, that I'm rooted, and then while I'm also tumbling. The film part was to capture alive a journey of its own. Because also the film part cannot be relived. It's a moment that I've already passed. But then it's also a moment that I keep playing back into while I'm also trying to ground myself now.
The Rebirth of Ikawe will be on at the Virtual National Arts Festival, which is incredibly exciting. It's the first time that it'll be premiering in South Africa.
Tony and I worked together for the Open Book Fest, but we've been friends for quite a bit. And we knew that from the Open Book Fest that we wanted to do something more together. Everything else from there felt like a guided meditation.
Tony, I know on your side you say that you're always looking for stories that will help us heal.
You know, I think healing is an ongoing thing, and I think the thing I'm very aware of is that our generation is aware that it's our role or the work of our generation to do the healing that our parents couldn't because they were trying to keep us alive and make sure that we could survive. And there's something about this moment we're living in this year, the pandemic, that's really asking us to sit still and face ourselves. And so in putting the show together for both Vangile and I, and also our filmmaker, Busumzi, it really is about creating a space where people can do that for themselves. You know, it's a poetry meditation in the form of ritual and film with words.
I would really encourage people to watch this at their own pace. I mean, and not necessarily just watch it, but to interact with it. And so we ask, I mean, when you buy a ticket, you're going to be given instructions on some things that you need to bring into your space as you watch. I think more than anything, we ask that you open yourselves up to the listening and to just kind of being willing to be vulnerable, but also to be guided and to be held.
And things just ain't the same. Hey, well, that's where we're going to have to wrap up today's episode. Thank you so much for honoring the space, the time, and the artwork that was shared here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to also send in some of your wins for those competitions. Who knows? You could strike it lucky.